Hey guys, I'm Orthodon and we are here for a quick poll video. We are replacing My Hero Academia. Unfortunately, it is coming to an end in a couple weeks. I'm sure it's going to get more seasons, but at least for now. And with that slot was originally my airing show slot, which means that whenever a show starts to, whenever that slot is open, whatever the next season after whatever the previous show ended is, I will try to pick something. So in this case, it is fall 2021. And so I will say the list here, I don't know any of these shows, so I'm not really excited for any of these shows, you know? I haven't heard anything about any of them. But yeah, so it's gonna be a weird season because like usually I have at least one show that I'm kind of like secretly rooting for to win, you know. But in this case, yeah. So keep an eye out, guys. The link to the poll is going to be in the description below. It is going to be a Patreon poll, but you do not have to be a patron of mine to vote. Anyone can vote. You will need a Patreon account, but that doesn't, it's free to sign up. You don't have to subscribe to me at all. You don't have to give me anything. You can just go down there, vote. Also, it's really late right now, and I'm feeling really lazy, so I don't think I'm going to do like I normally do, where I put the text up here for every show name. Instead, I will put a list down at the bottom in the description below where the link is. So if you guys don't even want to watch this video and you just want to go look at that and then click on the link if you want to vote, do that. That's fine by me. So, anyways, so the first show, let's get this on the roll here, is, and I'm also going to be trying to say it in the Japanese names, so God bless me, some of these names are ridiculous. I have some of the English translations just to clarify for some of them, so the first show is Mieruko-chan. I'm gonna say this a lot, but I know nothing about this one. I honestly, I can't even remember. I guess I have the Annie chart up, and I can go to it real fast. So this one was the first one out of all these. Yes, it's a horror, which is actually kind of interesting. I would, but it's a comedy horror, which does make me super interested in how that works. So, I read a little bit of the description, the little summary, because I tried to pick these to be like ones that I might be interested in, while also just covering as many of them as I can that aren't sequels and stuff like that. That's kind of how the airing ones go. I have done some polls where I include like every single show except for like the Eki and Yaoi ones and stuff like that, because I mean I just don't want to suffer through those. It's just not my thing. So yeah, I managed to get 9 shows, I think, which is pretty good. I usually try to keep 10 on my polls when I do like my other show polls that aren't airing, so I feel like I did pretty decent here. So yeah, the second show is one of the ones I'm gonna really enjoy saying. Sekai Saikou no Ansatsusha Isekai Kizoku ni Tensei suru, which translates roughly, the rough English translation is the world's best assassin to reincarnate in a different world. So it even has Isekai in the name. It is another Isekai. There's several Isekais on this list, or Isekai adjacent kind of like fantasy stuff, so interesting. They're doing a lot of those recently. I don't know if I'm like a big fan of it, you know, like some of them I enjoy, but some of them just feel like it's overplayed, you know. It's like video games making battle royales at this point. But I guess like an assassin, world's best assassin reincarnating. So like I guess that could be interesting to see someone who starts off as an assassin, because usually it's just like a nerdy neat kid or something, you know. So assuming by the title anyway. But that's about all I know for that one. The next one is another long-ass name. Wish me luck here, guys. Shin no Nakama janai to Yuusha no party wo Oidasareta node Henkyou de Slow Life Suru Koto ni shimashita. Which roughly, once again, translates to banished from the hero's party, I decided to live a quiet life in the countryside. So this is like the Isekai adjacent kind of, like, not Isekai at all, but like just it sounds like a fantasy, like possibly like similar to video game kind of world where like this character was based off the title. That's all I really know. It seems like the character was once part of a, you know, raid group kind of thing, if you use video game terms, and decided to leave it to live on the countryside. Interesting. Sure, why not? I don't know what that is, if it's going to be like a slice of life, but sometimes those slice of lives are fun if that's what it is. Next show is going to be Tsuki to Laika to Nosferatu, which is... where was that one? I have a terrible memory. Okay, yeah, this was the one that was like, it seems like the world is split into two factions after some war based off the summary, which is interesting. I don't know what... It's romance and sci-fi. I kind of picked it for the sci-fi. I'm not always into romance, although sometimes I think it's okay, you know? It depends on the kind of romance and everything. But other than that, I don't know anything about it. So, next one is Sakugan, which is a mecha. I haven't watched a mecha in a long time, so that could be interesting. There was a point in my anime career where I was going through a lot of shows, and I ended up watching a lot of mechas, like, back to back. And I started getting really sick of the mecha genre. But now it's been so long, like, I can't even remember the last mecha I watched. Like, a lot of those old ones are jumbled, you know, where I started with, like, Code Geass as, like, one of my first mechas, and I went through, like, a bunch of other ones. But I can't even remember the most recent one, so that could be interesting. I heard it has some CG that looks a little, like, but we'll see. The next show is going to be Kyuuketsuki Sugu Shinu, which is a comedy supernatural. It's something to do with vampires when I read the summary, so interesting. I don't know anything else about that, though. Comedies are always fun, though. I tend to enjoy comedies. Sometimes the comedy is lost on me, or I'm just like getting too old and mature to really enjoy the comedy, but then there's other comedy anime that I just absolutely love. Like, one of the ones I go back to and I'll watch other reactions of it, like, several times, you know, is Devil is a Part-Timer. I enjoy, like, the humor in that one, but yeah, a comedy could be fun. Blade Runner Black Lotus. I was iffy about putting this one on the list. Reading the summary, it sounds really interesting, right? But I wasn't sure if this was a sequel or not. But I tried to Google a little bit without reading too much into it and getting spoiled. I think I did a pretty good job. I don't think I really got spoiled anything. And it just said that Blade Runner Black Lotus is just shot in the same universe. So I think I'm okay to watch this. So yeah. Okay. So I decided to leave it. We'll see. The next show is gonna be Shinka no Mi, Shiranai Uchi ni Kachigumi Jinsei? Which one? Oh, this was another Isekai one. I read the summary and I don't know about this one. I feel like this one might be like as close to being like the ecchi tag as there could be, but I don't know. I mean, I'm fine with watching it and experiencing it because I love experiencing new things, even if they're bad. You know, sometimes it's fun to watch through it still. So if that one wins the poll, I'm obviously still gonna watch it. But it sounded a little weird, and the thumbnail has like a bunch of girls, so it makes me think it's gonna be like a harem kind of thing, you know. But it just has, at least on AniChart, it only has the adventure and comedy tag as, like, the highlighted ones. If I open the page, what else does it have? I guess it does have romance in there. But yeah, I don't know. We'll see. Yeah, who knows? I don't even know what's going to win this poll, either. That's, like, one of the crazy things. Next show is gonna be Megaton-kyuu Musashi, which is another mecha, if I'm not mistaken. Let's see, I can find this in here. Yeah, it is another mecha. It sounds interesting, where like a lot of the, like, based off the quick summary, a lot of the world is dead and they're like living underground and people's memories are like wiped of it. It reminds me of it could be like a Promise Neverland kind of feel, where, you know, a lot of these characters are doing things but they don't know about like the world or anything, the outside world. So interesting. And once again, it's another mecha, and I haven't seen a mecha in a while, so if either of the mechas win, I'd be okay with that too, you know. And the final one on this list is going to be Deep Insanity: The Lost Child, which is another one that if I'm gonna throw a comparison out there, it reminds me of Made in Abyss, just because the thumbnail looks like a giant hole in the ground. And yeah, I didn't really read too much of the summary on this one. I didn't even add this to the list because it says sequel to Deep Insanity Nirvana. So I was like, okay, it's a sequel, so I'm not gonna add this, you know. I haven't seen the first one, so I'm not gonna watch it. But my friend told me I should add it to my list because it's not a sequel, I guess. For some reason, AnyChart listed that like it might be a sequel of a game or manga or something, you know. But apparently, I tried to look it up too, and I don't see any Deep Insanity Nirvana show, so I decided to put it back on the list. So yeah, that's all of the shows, guys. Keep in mind, if there is any of the airing, the fall 2021, right? Don't mention any other shows for this poll. But if you go to the poll and instead of voting, if you're like, the show I wanted him to watch isn't on this, leave it in the comments. I will treat that as a vote. And if, you know, a bunch of you guys, you know, type in the show, if it's something that I missed here, then go ahead and type it in, and maybe it'll end up winning, you know. So check that out. I'll count each individual comment as a vote towards the show that they mention that isn't on the list. So yeah, that's my way of being like, sorry if I missed a show you like, kind of thing. You can still get a shot there. So yeah, it's gonna be an interesting season, considering I don't even know, like, I usually don't get a lot of votes on these polls, and that's fine, but I'm actually wondering if I'm even going to get any votes on this poll, because of how, like, I feel like I'm not super excited about this season of anime, you know? So I wouldn't be surprised if other people were just, like, didn't even bother voting. And if no one votes, I don't know how I'm going to pick what show. Like, do I random number generate the show, or do I just pick the one that looks the most interesting to me? I might just pick the one that looks the most interesting to me if no one votes, but anyways. Yeah, guys, that's going to be it for me. Long-winded poll video, as usual. But thank you so much for watching if you stayed this long. I'm looking forward to starting a new show with you guys anyway. So, yeah. Thank you, guys, and I will see you in my future reactions. Bye-bye.